Hey everybody, hope y'all are doing well. I just want to come on here and say, I saw Joy made a video about Brian's woes yesterday, and I actually I didn't jump in to see what she talked about, so I don't really know where her demeanor was at or what words she chose to speak. But the title, is interesting. Initially, anyway, I look forward to checking it out sometime. I haven't yet, and I don't know when because I'm really not trying to create a pity party over here. I'm not trying to get sympathy for my situation. I'm really, I really don't like to complain. However, sometimes, things become overwhelming or feel overwhelming, and I express them. When I feel like people have been hurting me with the intent to hurt me. Like, it's one thing when it's like, oh, okay, you get caught up in the moment, you say some shit, but when I feel like people are like almost diabolically, fucking with me on purpose just to fuck with me because they don't really got much else to do, and they're getting off on the fact that they're fucking with me, that angers me, man. And, it goes back to a lot of what is going on in the world today on a larger scale of things. So, yeah, it's just with the way everything went down with the last stream, me and Joy did. I've just needed to take a little bit of a break from watching her videos. So I just wanted to throw that out there, but also acknowledge that I saw the one she made yet, at least the one she made yesterday about woes. I haven't checked her channel out to see if she did one last night, but I wanted to just talk on that. And also say that I am working on completing the whiteboard presentation about truth and lies, and I'm going to be presenting some other historical facts, at least were presented as historical facts, that I feel, no, I mean they do, they point to corruption, and they're things that are out there for us all to know and see, and it's how they're able to get away with these things is because they do tell us the truth. They do tell us, the ways that they're fucking evil. But if we don't listen to it, if we don't actually acknowledge it and do something about it, then we're enabling it. So they're actually, by telling us these things in the way they tell us it, and us not doing anything about it, we're actually fueling the fire of evil. And it's giving them more power, and it's giving them an allowance to do all this shit more and more, and until we realize that it is an evil government, they have been doing evil shit, and we're continuing to support them, it's not going to change. I'm continuing to just show people what is really going on here based on the facts that are available to me and the things I feel and see with my own intuition. But one particular individual, excuse me, that I think everybody should check out is a man by the name of Ted Gunderson. That's Ted and Gunderson, and he has a video on YouTube called "The Great Conspiracy," and it is the thing about him is he's a retired FBI agent from 1979, and he was head of the Los Angeles Police Division. So he had like 700 people underneath him. He was a counselor for governors. Basically, he just has some really high up credentials, and he learned about some shit and decided to completely leave the FBI. It's been a while since I watched the video. I'm gonna rewatch it. I want to rewatch it, but from what I remember, he left the FBI and he, pretty much straight up went and told the public about this fucked up shit that's going on with schools and children, and just how there is a collection of entities or humans, people that are hell-bent on implementing the New World Order and what that's all about in regards to, humanity and America, and how they actually hired people from they've hired people to literally set up 25 goals to keep, America at a lower vibrational frequency by controlling their minds through press. I'm assuming the lower vibrational frequency. He didn't actually say that, but his words, I think, were about they had 25 goals to help keep people, to help implement their New World Order, by controlling people with the press, by controlling the press and, controlling the, corrupting the youth with sex and drugs. Sorry. See, by controlling the press and using sex and drugs, they're creating control over the people by enticing them into their vices and da-da-da-da-da. So I think that's why I was continuing to use that word control. And if you look at what they're doing, they're trying to control fucking, vaccines, they're trying to control the food, they're trying to control the information, they're very controlling, they're very tyrannical, they're very domineering. So anyways, I encourage everybody to check out, Ted Gunderson on YouTube, and the video that I found to be extremely helpful. Again, it's been a while, but I watched the first couple minutes, and just off the jump, I found it very helpful and also encouraging, because it helps shed light on why things are so fucked up. Once people realize that, like, this is the truth, the good thing about this is it's because it is really a spiritual battle. Like, there is a other side to all this darkness and all this heaviness, all this filth. There is a cleansiness, there is a light, there is a beautiful brightness that counteract all this shit. So when you go into the truth and you learn about these type of things, it's fucking, it can be kind of scary and shit, but at the same time, if you take it all the way, you also see the good side of things. That's where the 13th Son and the Most Highs and the Word are there to help balance out this shit and give us a way out if one's willing to take it. But that depends on your heart, your will, and what you really want in this world. So what you choose to pay attention to. But just remember, the devil's in the details. So anytime you're trying to discern lies or facts or any of this bullshit, look to the details of what's going on. And the details include everything, as far as the actions, the repercussions, the past, the present, what's being followed through, as far as what's been said and what's actually been done. These are all things that need examination. And one of the ways the devil hides himself is by putting on a good face, when in actuality, behind that mask, he's a monster. So just look into it. You can tell if somebody's wearing a mask. How well does things line up? Is it fitting really well, or is it kind of shifting? Is it, does their words align with their actions? Is one of the best ways you can tell if somebody's full of shit, or if they're not. And if their words aren't aligned with actions, are they being honest with it? Because some people, they're in a transition stage and they're changing and they're trying to get to a new form. But in order to get to that new form, you got to shed your old skin. So, like, from my opinion, there is a kind of a roughness, a choppiness to a transition sometimes. It's not always so smooth and graceful. Sometimes you got to go through like a war within inside of yourself to get to the other side. And so there can be a lot of there can be a lot of chatter, there can be a lot of ugliness, in the process of getting out that shit. So just, keep that in mind too, when you see people who, may look like they're full of shit, or just talking backwards, or don't know what the hell they're talking about, or not as convicted in their speech as you might think they should be. It's not always that they don't believe it, or that they're trying to lie, or any of these things. It's just that within themselves, they're still trying to find, there's a spiritual battle going on, and a lot of what's inside of me doesn't want me to be this other thing. So it's going to try what it can do to keep me from, being something different. So it's the parasites, it clings on to, it'll cling on as long as it can cling on. Just like this system, just like these mentalities, just like these programs that we've all been, subjected to a lesser or greater degree. So, all right, I love you. I hope you have a good day.